All right, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, January 13th, 2020, the third show of the year. And my name is Kimatina. I am your host, and I am a Google certified trainer and educator, as well as a gold product expert for the Google for Education team and a technology teacher. And today I have on the show Mr. Luis Pertuz from Colombia. Hi, Luis.
Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
Good. Better late than never.
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
I'm so glad that you actually made it. Lewis comes to us from Colombia. He is a technology integrator as well as a Google certified innovator through the New York City cohort back in January or October.
Yeah.
October, and he's also a Google certified trainer. So welcome to the show.
Hi. Oh, thank you.
It's very nice to meet you. I mean, I know we interact on Twitter and we go back and forth a little bit, but it's actually nice to see,
Yeah,
the
to put a face to the name.
yeah, exactly, and a live face, not just
Yeah,
a
and a
picture.
voice and a
E-
voice to what you read. You always picture people's voices.
Exactly. It's totally different. So it's very nice to meet you.
Okay, same here.
So I know you're going to be going over a lot of cool stuff tonight. You're
Hmm.
going to go over Google Forms and how you can create personalized learning certificates using a
Autocrat.
the Autocrat add-on, and we're going to talk about the Google Innovator Academy and what your thoughts were in the application process. So
That too.
we're gonna go right to it because I know you have a lot to say about just your workflow in general. So,
Hmm.
why don't you tell us a little bit about how you use Google Forms and create your certificates for your students?
Okay, I've used it for certificates for students, and also when I do like training, I also use it for training and for like like the certificate that people get for attendance. And also I normally plug that into like a form that also picks up feedback and different resources that I can get later to mail the teacher. So I use all this information to actually get feedback for me. I have let's call it evidence, for want of a better word, of what I did and how people were feeling after what we did. And I also give them by way of email a nice little PDF with a certificate that they feel happy about. And sometimes I can say how many hours we spent or whatever, and people find it valuable. And it's like ridiculously easy if you get like the hang of it. And all you have to do is like prepare the certificate up front, and the form, which if you do Google Forms, it's super easy. um, we're gonna do that in a minute. I have the form and the certificate already ready, but I haven't done the integration between the form and Autocrat, and that's what we're gonna do now, so we know how it works.
So, how do you? Okay, so what app do you create the certificate in?
Okay, I do. I love using Google Slides. If I have to do something really niggly with the images or something, I use Google Drawings. But drawings and slides are very similar for the drawing aspects, and I just try and be as creative as I can within the constraints of Google Slides. But I've found that Slides lets you do a whole bunch of things that normally you wouldn't be able to do.
Okay, that's interesting because I've created templates in Google Docs, and I
Hmm.
never thought about using Google Slides for the template for the
I've done it
certificate
because
template.
people, one of the main complaints, because every time, and you're a Google trainer too, so you know how it works. Every time you come up with and you're teaching people about docs or slides or sheets or whatever, then everybody always compares it to Office. And then, well, in docs you can't do this, and in Word you can like use background images, and I don't know. And slides instead will let me do all that sort of fiddly things that I can't do normally in docs. Like docs won't let me have a background image, which I don't really care, because if I'm doing word processing, I don't need background images. And then I also get complaints, but you can't insert a YouTube video in docs. Are you going to print out the YouTube video?
Yeah.
Not that I like printing out, but it's one of those weird things. If you want to like do something with video and stuff, why don't you do slides? Why don't you use sites or make a website or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. That's
So,
interesting. So I'm glad to hear that part that's different
and
because
then
you're right. Google Slides is totally, you know, to me, it's like you're using. instead of using the doc, use the slide. You have a lot more flexibility there with it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen Jennifer Scott's Innovator project. Hers is awesome. She does a whole yearbook using just Google Slides,
Wow.
and
Wow.
she's polishing it up, and it's beautiful right now. She's doing. You give you give the she's gonna publish an add-on for slides soon, or for sheets, I think. I'm not sure right now. And then you're gonna be able to point it to a directory where all your pictures are, and then it'll stick in all the it'll make the pictures, the frames and the pictures, and it'll put every kid with his name in the list, and it'll make up all the pages that you need. It's awesome, and it's all done in Google Slides.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Well,
slides
you got
yearbook
me
are
hooked there,
coming.
that's for sure.
Oh,
Wow.
it's a beautiful project.
Well, because it's funny that you say that because I was helping, the secretary at work to create certificates for students who were like, student of the month or whatnot.
Perfect
And
attendance.
yeah, perfect attendance, whatever. And I told her to create the certificate in Google Docs. I didn't think about slides. And because
Yeah,
slides, you can make it a little bit more
you can make it nicer.
prettier.
You could
Yeah.
put in like little seals and all sorts of
Yeah.
icons and stuff. Yeah,
And then she was having issues with docs because the text wasn't lining up. Like the first page would print out fine, and then
perfectly.
the
Yeah,
second page it wouldn't line up, and the spacing became an issue.
and
So
and you
it
get those kids with the super long names.
wrong name, yep,
That you choose one perfect font that it looks perfect. If you
and then
Kimberly
it's all
Messina, and
messed
it looks
up.
beautiful, and then you get somebody with a really long name and it won't ever fit. Yeah, that always happens.
So does using Google Slides, does that alleviate that issue?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, jeez.
What it will do, no, what you can sort of define where the slide where the text goes, and what I usually do is I look for the longest name, and I'll adjust the font size to that name, unless it's like ridiculously long, and I'll do that one on its own.
Separate. Okay.
Um, I there's rumors of something coming up in slides that you'll be able to define a space, and it'll adjust the size for you, but that's not up
We don't
yet.
know. Yeah.
It's in the
Okay.
works.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what you got.
Okay,
Let's
let
see
me
your
start over.
certificate.
Let me share the screen first. Okay.
I'm gonna have to try it now, right?
Sure, of course. That's the idea. I'll share it with you afterwards. Here you are.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so this is my awesome certificate. And then basically the certificate is a certificate where I'm awarding full name, whatever full name's name is. And then we'll do that in sheets. And then it's a really silly certificate. I just wrote it up really fast. It's a form filling certificate that certifies. It's a certificate that certifies that whatever his name is certified, he'll be able to fill out a Google form so he can receive this authentic certificate signed by me, who's a certified everything. And that's it. And then what I'm doing is over here is the form. And in the form, I'm asking for your name, your email, your Twitter handle, just to get all this information to have it on hand.
All right,
And
I'm gonna
then
fill it out while you're talking.
sure. And then no, wait, don't fill it out yet because
Oh,
let me set up
geez.
Autocrat so we can do it automatically, which
All
is
right, go ahead then.
okay.
So
So
fill out the form.
I'm I'm picking up here. You have you're asking for your name, and then here we're asking for email, and then the Twitter handle, and it's not obligatory, but you could do it if you want. I love using this stuff so I can grow my personal learning network, which is always a good thing. And then I have like really silly feedback questions, so I know if this was like a real serious training, I'd have at least some feedback from the people who were in the room with me. So in this case, you. So how did you find the presentation? Then I just come up with some ranking or rating, and then are you planning on installing Autocrat? And that's about it. And then right now, nobody's responded, but that's on purpose because it's brand new. And then, okay, so first, before we get started, the important bit about this is first you have to create a spreadsheet using the whatever answers you get in the form. So we click on the little green create a spreadsheet thing and wait for it to create the sheet of responses. Now, for those people who don't know, Google Forms is actually like a like the child of Google Sheets, because actually every form is in a hidden way, it's a sheet, and every time you give it feedback, you give it an answer, the answer slides into a sheet. Now, only if you click on the little green thing to create the sheet will you get actual access to the sheet, or else you just see what you normally see in the Google form. You'll see like the responses, and you'll see graphs and stuff that are really nice and really useful, but in the sheet you can see like the raw data. So right now I'm gonna get a there's a sheet, and you see that everything that was in the form is in the sheet plus a timestamp. So you get the timestamp, the name, the email, the Twitter handle, and the information that I asked for as feedback. So the important thing is, first we have to install Autocrat, and then I already have it installed, but the idea is you click here where it says get add-ons, and we search for Autocrat whenever the thing loads. Autocrat. And then here it is, and then all we have to do is like click on it and then say install and give it all the access permissions that it needs. Okay, once that is done, then you'll get right here in the add-ons menu, you'll get a little entry for Autocrat, and then all we do is launch it. And then when you launch Autocrat, you're going to get the options of like setting up everything that you need to do to integrate your Google form or your sheet to some sort of mail merge-ish type of arrangement. So right now there's nothing set up for this sheet, because every time you have to do for every new sheet that you want to use Autocrat in, you have to run Autocrat for the first time. So right now what we have to do is set up a job. And then of course all this is like, so we're gonna to Google certificate of filling out forms. Okay, so that's it. And then okay, now it asks me to choose a template which is going to be merged. So right now I'm going to go look here in Drive, and what's really nice about Drive is that it has like some Google magic in there, and then normally it'll pop up with the most recent stuff, and the most recent stuff is, here's my certificate. Okay, so I selected the certificate, and it's going to search right now when I click next what different you see in the certificate that the wait in the certificate you see where it says full name, it's locked between like greater than and less than signs. Whatever is in there is stuff that Autocrat is going to look for to replace.
Yeah, it's like a tag.
It's like a tag. So those tags I have to go and choose here in where it says full name. I need it to insert the reply in the column where it says what is your name, and that's it. And this is just to make the certificate itself. Now, if we want to mail it, that comes further on. Then we're gonna give it a name. So I'm going to need to pop up over here, and of course, there's a mistake because of course. Now, for this, I have to give it the if I want to replace, because right now you're gonna fill out Kim Matina, and I want the file name to have your name in it, so I know whose certificate it is, because it's gonna leave a copy of the certificate in my drive. Form certificate. Okay, and that's it. Google Slides and multiple output, which is the most comfy. If you want to choose single output, it'll do just one big slide presentation, but then you won't get your own personalized one, which is not the idea. Or, which is what I really want to do, is send you a PDF. So after that, I go next. This is where I've been. You can choose any particular folder. If you're really nitpicky and you want to do it, you can actually, within the sheet, you can figure out the names of the different folders, and not the name, the normal human readable name, but the name that that Google uses inside the URL. And you could actually do stuff to get it to file the PDFs or whatever your forms are, whatever you're sending, into different folders according to whatever content you decide, which is really nice, but it's beyond the scope of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's like not necessary though.
But that's magical. If you want to do like something for like the whole school and you want to do like file all the third graders in a third grade folder, it's wonderful. I've done it, but it's really a pain. That's
Is
here's where
that
you do it.
okay? We'll have to talk about that later. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Okay, merge condition. This is if this is like a normal sheet and you're like calculating stuff, the merge condition allows you to like it'll only merge the rows where there's something happening. So in this case, we're just gonna do something very straightforward, so we don't need that. Now here is the important bit. Here where we have share docs and send emails. Of course, I want to send you email, so I say yes, and then I'll share the doc as a PDF. Collaborate to reshare. It's a PDF, so I don't care. Generic no reply address, no, because I want you to see it from me. And then I'm gonna send it to. So now I have to tag you, and I have to use the header of the column where the email is being recorded, and then I'll type in the subject is your certificate. And then here I can also do tags. So I can, hi, and then I'll copy this.
So like right now you're just creating
I'm
the template
creating
email.
Right now I'm creating the email that it's gonna fill out to send to you after you fill out the form.
Right, and then it'll be all customized with
It'll be all customized again. So
with
it
my
should
name in
read
it.
in a perfect world. Of course, every time I need to demo this,
It doesn't
I'll
work,
do
right?
some mistake and you're gonna receive something weird. But I'm
That's
hoping
okay.
that it works today. Uh, no,
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
oh yeah. Okay, so that's quick and dirty, and then that should be it. Okay, so now this is the important bit. Here it says add or remove job triggers. Right now, what I want to do is whenever somebody fills it out, I want it to
Right.
automatically send you the email. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna say yes. So yes, and then it's setting it up in its magical mystery way. Okay, so now it should be done. And that, as they say, is that. So right now it should be running. So if now you fill out the form,
Okay, so let me fill it out.
sure.
So you just defined your Autocrat job.
Yeah,
That's what you did right now in
I
Autocrat.
defined the AutoCAD job. I told it what I wanted to do with the information that I received. I assigned the information to be filled in the certificate or the template where I wanted it to be filled. And then I created a standard email to send out to the people when you're attaching the certificate that you're attaching. Okay, so now Kim Matina filled it out, and your email is whatever it is, and your Twitter handle, and then everything. And right now, magically, it's working. So you can see up here it adds certain mystery columns, and right now it's working at it, and it's doing its thing inside. And right now, you should have it just sent the email out, and you should have an email with that right now, and your email sent you this beautiful, hopefully. Yay! Look, that's what your certificate should look like.
Okay. Yeah, because you get a it's actually
I get
linked
a copy of the
saved in
PDF.
your drive, and you get the link
Yeah,
in Spreadsheet, which is nice.
and if I check my outgoing email,
Yep,
hopefully,
I got the email.
there you go. And in my outgoing email, I get a copy of whatever I sent you. Now, hopefully, it sent out the email with with the correct information in it.
Yes, I
Yes,
did.
it did.
I
I'm
got it.
so proud of myself.
Yep. Yep. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's like once you do it a couple of times to get like the hang of it, it's incredibly easy.
Now go into your drive real quick
Sure.
because I like how you customize the file name. Like I
Yeah.
never did that before, which
Okay, so let me
I
let me
like how
let
you
me.
did that. I want to see your drive so it because if you have like 100
Yeah,
kids in
look
there.
in my drive. Here it is, Kim Matina form
Oh yeah,
certificate.
there it is. Okay.
If I was really nitpicky, because I do this for school, I could have since I have a database somewhere where I can relate whose email address belongs to what grade, then I could have, but I have to set it up first, and it's sort of a pain in the neck. But you could have like a list of folders and the folder names within Google Drive. And now in Google Drive, the folder name isn't whatever you write out. It's this. Do you see the highlight up there?
Yeah, the URL.
That's the
Yeah.
folder name. No, not even the whole URL, just that
Oh, after
little
where
one.
it says folders. Okay.
So that folder, that's the folder for forms and AutoCAD. If I wanted to so I could do one folder for each grade,
Each
and
grade.
then I could do some Google Sheets whiz bangery and like ask it to be to do a lookup between this kid's email and what grade he's in, and then if this is the grade, then this is the folder it should belong. And then when it does the whole AutoCAD integration, let me call up AutoCAD again. Wait, launch. Okay. This is the other thing about AutoCAD. If I messed up when I was doing the email, I could always go back and edit it. Now, of course, when I edit it, you already have your email, so it's not gonna change for you, but it'll do it better for the next person in. Now here, that part with the when it fills out here, next time I would love to put in a little dash here just to separate it visually because I'm OCD that way. And then don't go back. Are you going back? Yes, going back. Okay. Then and then over here where it says destination folders, uh, this is the main destination folder, which is where everything's gonna go. But if I want with dynamic folder references, then one of the columns, which is something I would do on the flip side before, I'd have to like mess with the Google Sheet reply with the reply sheet beforehand before I started. And there would be in here somewhere, there would be a sheet. So I'd have to put in here a formula where I'd add the way that I'd look up who belongs to which folder, and then it would pull the folder from there, and it would be weird, but it would work. But
So
that
if
requires a
you
little
had a
more preparation.
but if you had a question like what grade level are you? And then just say that it's third grade. You're saying you can use that dynamic folder
Yeah,
lookup
I
option
have to,
and
but the
go.
dynamic folder would have to be in. You see over here where it says merge doc. Well, I would have to give it the folder name, but the weird folder name, the one in the URL.
Yeah, yeah.
It requires
Okay.
a little bit of doing, but once you set it up, it's painless.
But can you say in there if it's equal to third
Of course,
grade, use this
yeah.
folder? You can do
That,
that.
that would
Okay.
be like I'd do like a lookup or a straight if statement, but then I'd have to have all the possibilities in the if statement. What I'd usually do is like in a second sheet, I'd have like third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, etc., and then next to it the folder name, and then just have a lookup function, look up third grade, then look up what folder it is, and it'll pop up here, and then it'll automatically pull it.
Ah, look at that. And
Yeah,
you do that right in the sheet, not
I
in
do it in the
Autocrat.
response sheet. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
and that
wow.
would be even easier.
Oh, that's
It,
pretty
it's
cool.
it's a pain to do, but it's
Yeah,
easier.
but once it's up though, it's done. Like you don't have to change it.
Yeah, no, it works wonderful.
Wow. I like
And
that
that's it.
idea. I never used that dynamic reference
Yeah,
option
and
before.
and
That's cool.
then
And I do like how you customize the name of the file because like I used Autocrat for PD certificates too, and I would just put like, you know,
whatever. Yeah,
whatever
but then if
certificate.
I always get the somebody forgot their
Right.
certificate, or they changed their email and they want a copy or something like that. If I have the name, and if I do it under my Google for Education account, I can store as many things as I want. So
Yeah.
that also helps.
Yeah. I like it. I like that. Those were little good tips there, Louis. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And
Definitely.
and then if anybody in the audience, I have wait, let me see, how should I put up the let me do this. Uh, blah, blah, blah. Slides.new. Have you seen that those URLs, the new ones for if you want a new document or a new sheet, that you just do slides.new and
Yeah.
you oh
Yeah,
it's
it's so much easier, right?
Yeah, I've been begging Google to add one called drawings.new because I do Google Drawings a lot, and just starting them from scratch is hard. Well, it's not hard, but you have to go into Sheets, and you have to go into Drive, and then
Drive,
add another
yeah.
one. If it were just like drawings.new, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, they'll get to it. They'll get to it.
Eventually.
Leave them
Okay,
feedback.
if anybody is crazy enough to want to fill out the form and get their very own beautiful certificate, uh, you can use this as bit.ly/form certificate, and you should be able to get by email a copy of the beautiful form, and that would be awesome.
We're gonna put this in the show notes.
Okay, better.
I will send you a link for the Wakelet collection and you can add it in there and then people can try it. And
Oh
even
yeah.
if you wanted to share your template.
Oh, that too. Yeah, that I'll share you a link. I'll share you a link where you can mess around with it, and for everybody else, I'll just let them view, but not mess with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll send you the Wakelet collection and then you can add what you want in there. That would be
Okay.
helpful, you know. That was cool. I tell you what, I've used Autocrat, but just to get by. Like I don't dive deep into it because I get what I need to get done and that's it. And honestly, like they've come a long way. Like I've used it in the past before they upgraded, and the upgrade is night and
It
day. It's
it's
so
improved
much better.
tremendously.
It did. It definitely did. I can't believe it, and it's so much easier to manage. It's not intimidating at all.
Yeah.
If you're in that kind of mindset where you're organizing your drive and you know what you're doing, the Autocrat add-on is very intuitive. It's really I don't want to say simple, but you put the work into it and it's going to save you a lot of time at the end. So if you put the work in up front, you're going to get rewarded with a nice certificate, or
Yeah.
maybe even if you're sending out parent letters or emails or whatever, you can attach that to parent emails,
No,
anything.
I've done it too. I've used AutoCAD to generate, like, when we generate passwords for new services for the kids. I've used it to, like, email each and every kid in the school their own username and password,
Yeah.
and I'll copy the parents in if the parents are if you need the parents to also be able to log in or whatever. And then it's a pain, especially since there's a limit to how much emails you can send in a day. But if you like if I sort of like cut it into bits, I'll just cut it into chunks, and then I'll send a chunk today, a chunk tomorrow, and so on. I'll eventually cover the whole school.
How many are you limited to?
I think it's 1,500.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, that's still a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, but if our school right now, our school has 1,050 kids. It's small for U.S. standards, but it's large for a private school here.
Right.
And if you include parents,
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
automatically 2,000. Plus the
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
is 3,000. So no.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I mean, like I've used Autocrat, but I never had to worry about the limit because I never sent out
Yeah.
1,500 emails before like that. I
Also,
so
if if you're a Google trainer and you do this like a certificate of attendance, then while you do your form, you also grab all the emails of the people that you were teaching, so you can use that information when you're filling out the trainer activity in the.
yeah.
So that's also very nice, because then you'll get all, because it always asks you how many people there and what are their emails. Oh God, what are their
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And honestly, like I want to hear their feedback anyway, so I'll make them fill out a form like a survey, and then once they fill out the survey, I'll send them the certificate
emails? Yeah.
because you want to hear, what they thought of your session and everything too. So it's all good. Well, that was a lot. I'm glad that you went over Autocrat because like I said, it's a very productive add-on and sheets that you can use in the office, teachers can use it with students. It's good for the office workers as well. So I'm glad that you showed a little bit, you went deeper into it uh than to the extent of my knowledge, so thank you.
Oh no, anytime, and then we can get deeper and more complicated. It's just the prepare the all you have to do is prepare and like think ahead of what you want,
Yeah,
because
of what you want.
once you start and you have the form already done, if you want to add something to it, then it becomes horrible.
Yeah, so maybe that'll be episode number 2.
Sure.
Dive deeper into Autocrat.
Yeah.
Because
Anytime.
like honestly, like I ran into technical issues with Autocrat using it at my old school, and I think a lot of it had to do with like bandwidth because I was trying to merge so much,
Yeah.
uh, different accounts, and it just would bomb out, and then I'd have to do like 4 students at a time, and because I was trying to do a merge with like portfolios for students.
Well,
And it was a
I
disaster.
manage the admissions process at my school. um, I created We have each candidate is interviewed by evaluated by a psychologist, a physical therapist, and a speech therapist. And each one of those has to fill out different forms with different point values and scores and comments and whatever. So I made a form for each one of those. Those all feed into one sheet. That sheet gets some calculations get done, and then that gets merged into another sheet where we pull like information from like the names of the parents, and other data like birthdays and all that data we get, and then that eventually gets I pump it through AutoCAD. I pump it into a a separate file for each candidate where the evaluation, the committee, what they did, what they saw, what they observed, the grading that they got, and the point scale of whatever it is. And then when they're sitting down to evaluate the candidates, wait, I got a crazy kid. When we're sitting down to evaluate the candidates, then we do a slides presentation, which each one of the kids that's in the that each one of the kids, and then each kid gets his own slide, and then that's all generated through Autocrat. So it's
Do
weird.
you ever run into bandwidth issues?
No, sometimes what I mira, say hi.
Hi.
Okay, he said hi. What the issues I normally run into is before that process, before I put my hand in it, before that process would take like 2 weeks to come up from like interview to final like presentation, and now it can take. So all I have to do is wait for the different people who are evaluating to put in the information, and that then it'll generally take maybe 2 days, while everybody does their thing, and then all I have to do is like press a little button, and it'll happen. And now my biggest problem is that they want it done almost faster than that, which
Wow.
but but it makes things easier.
I think when I was doing it, I think there was technical difficulties because Autocrat just came out with the new version,
Yeah,
and I don't know if it was our bandwidth. I mean, I've contacted people and they were saying it's our bandwidth, and then the tech department was checking like the hubs and this and that, and because the kids would the Autocrat would just drop,
it's
and then it was weird, and
I've had issues when it isn't available for some reason. Like
yeah, it's just
I'll get a
weird.
but it's not very frequent. Sometimes I have some stuff that happens by itself, or that I set up a trigger daily and I just forgot about it, and it's no longer doing anything useful. But
Yeah.
eventually I'll get email saying, "Oh, some Autocrat failed
Something
for some
ran
reason."
or something failed. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I haven't used that application with Autocrat in probably like 3 years, so, it's
yeah.
been a long time. I don't use it to that degree anymore, you know what I
They've
mean?
improved a lot. I have a form where where the heads of the different departments in the school could go and take a picture of somebody doing something correctly, and we have like a I have a certificate that says you were caught doing something good, and
Mhm.
then in the form that they fill out the name of the person, and they'll upload the picture, and it'll do the form with the picture and everything. So
Wow.
so and so was, and then there'll be something describing what they were doing. So and so was caught helping a kid after class doing whatever, and then the picture attached, and it works wonderful.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah,
So they have to upload the picture through Forms.
they upload it through forms, but they do it on the phone.
Yeah, they do it
They
on the
already have it
phone.
on their
Yeah.
film, on their camera app or whatever, and then it's
And then how
not
do
as
you merge the picture into the slide? What's the
AutoCAD. No,
tag?
no.
What's
There's
the
you tag. You call it image, and then when you're going to tag in AutoCAD, you have to tell it that it's an image,
okay.
and then
Okay.
it'll do its weird magic.
Then it'll do its thing. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. I didn't know that either. Wow,
and
you're
then
that's good.
as I think there's something you have to do to the name of the image or something. I don't know. There's something that you have to change a little thing, or you have to make the image publicly accessible.
Okay.
But then
Well,
that's not.
that makes sense because Autocrat's a third-party app too, so
Yeah,
it needs access to it. That's wow. That's I'll have to try that.
yeah.
I like
I could
that
I could
idea.
send you a copy of that too.
Okay, cool.
I have it working somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, whenever, no big deal. Wow, that's really good. Thanks, Louis, for
Sure.
sharing. That's that's really to me that's advanced stuff. So I'm glad that you shared. I got to check that out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back to school tomorrow and talk to the secretary and say, "Hey, let's change these certificates and use Google Slides instead of Docs."
yeah.
you
And
know,
you're gonna be able to do prettier stuff.
a lot more stuff. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right because you make it look prettier and I mean, geez, they have templates and slides that you can just download and
Yeah,
borrow, right? You don't even have to create from scratch.
yeah. And
So,
then just all you have to do is take that and just put the school logo on it so it looks official.
yeah, exactly. Yep, that's cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for sharing all that. And I know you
Anytime.
wanted to go over the Google Innovator application. Do you have
Oh,
time or
sure.
not? A few minutes. We don't have to go too much into it.
Anytime. Well, right now, are you planning on applying this year, or you don't know? You're thinking about it.
Shh.
You're thinking about it. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll probably apply again.
Okay. So, actually, I run with a few friends. We run the Future GEI chat in Twitter, and it's the Future Google for Education Innovators.
Okay.
For people who are hopefuls, because we used to run one for when we applied for New York. We A friend reached out, Jesselyn Swanson. She reached out because the people who were selected for London had a slow chat expecting when they were expecting to be selected, and then she thought it was a good idea. So we took it and we ran with it, and we had like 15 days since everybody submitted to the announcement. We had 15 days that we were doing chats. We were creating expectation. We were being hopeful. We were being very optimistic. And then, of the people who were running the chat, only I got in, and the other the other four people that were working in the chat with me, they didn't get in. So we were devastated. And then we rebaptized that chat, which was we called it the NYC 19 while we wait chat. It was a really long name. And then, we created the Future GEI just to keep the ball rolling and to be like a support group, because half of the thing was of like, we don't know how many people applied. We know it was a lot, but most of the people who were following the chat didn't get accepted. So most of the thing was like being like a support group, and like, bolstering their hopes and whatever for the next time. And I understand, like, last year was the New York was the only cohort in the States, so it was lots of the people in the States, that was the only one they could apply to. And it was the one that I applied to because it was the one that was geographically the closest in a language I could understand.
Mm.
Because the other one that was near me was Brazil, but I don't speak Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
And
Int
then either that, or wait, if you follow what the cohorts have been like, there was Mexico, which is Spanish speaking. Mexico and Spain have been happening on even years. So it was either I applied for New York, maybe I'd get in, or wait till this year, and hopefully there was going to be in Spain or Mexico. But Mexico for me is more reasonable. Spain is a ways away in
right.
money. And
Right, right.
so I actually had applied before for Mexico 18, and I did the whole thing. I did the video. I filled out the application, and then, somebody reached out to me after we were announced, and I was told that I didn't get in. Somebody reached out to me and told me, "Look, your application was awesome, and the video was cool." Ahora la voy. I'll be right there. We were announced, and that person told me, "Look, your application was very good, and everything was awesome, but I give you this advice for the next time. please, 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 if you ask for a problem, state the problem, don't state the solution. Because the whole idea of the Innovator Academy is for you to come up with a solution on your own through the techniques and through everything that you are going to see in the Innovator Academy. If you already have a solution, you don't need the academy. So that was like the wisest thing that they told me, and that was something I really stuck to for my next application. So the applications for last year came out, and the first thing I saw is they announced it. The cohorts were announced in late January, and this year we're expecting the cohorts to be announced late January, early February, to see what is up. And then the only one I could like reasonably go to was New York, because it's my expense. I had to I had to fly myself there, and it's in
Yeah,
pesos, and pesos versus dollars is horrible. And it's the only thing I could sort of afford. I have friends in who live near New York, so I could go stay there. So I would have to pay for a hotel, but I still had to fly myself there. Anything else was, for me, was undoable. There was no way I was going to go to Europe, and so no. So I filled out the application. I did notice that the application between 2018 and 2019 were different. So I'm not I don't want to give anybody any advice right now because we don't know what the application is going to look like. And give me one second. I don't want to give anybody any advice because there's no advice to give right now. Uh,
right.
from 18 to 19, the other big, horribly big, horrendous difference was the video for 2018 was a minute and a half long for you to state your problem, and the video for 2019 was 1 minute. And 1 minute looks like a long, long time until you have to speak for only 1 minute. And that's horrible. Paring
Yeah,
down your issue, your problem, whatever your passion is, to 1 minute is never enough. Plus that, and one of the things that I firmly believe in, and it's not, I don't know if it's official policy or whatever, but I think you also have to throw a lot of personality into whatever you're doing. So it's one thing to be passionate or to show your passion, but you also have to let some of your craziness
come
shine
out.
through.
Yeah.
I like to refer to the people in the innovator uh, in the innovator group, or people that that are like me in that sense. I like to refer to them as like-minded wackos, which is a hashtag that I use all the time in Twitter when I refer to this sort of thing.
That's what that means, huh?
Yeah, because I believe that you have to be a certain type of crazy. So to be an educator in itself, you have to be a certain type of crazy. And some people burn out and they're not crazy anymore, so they're missing that mysterious little something. But I think that to be a good candidate for the Innovator Academy, it's not that you have to be insane, but it helps.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you. Well, that definitely does help. I mean, I'm gonna be looking out for the dates on when the applications are gonna be available. Hi, and so we'll see. I'll let you know
No,
what happens.
if you follow the future GEI chat,
Yeah, I wrote
as
it down.
soon as something happens, we're gonna go insane.
Yeah, I have it down here, so I'm gonna definitely follow the hashtag. So
Sure.
thanks for sharing all that information. I know it'll help me, so I'm sure it'll help other people as well.
Also, within reason, of course, to you, it's open as much as you want, but I will gladly look over any application
Oh, okay,
within
cool.
reason. Within reason. Last time for Sweden and for I helped. I looked over stuff for other people. Um, I'm happy to say that the people who took my advice to heart got in.
They got
I'm
in.
not
That's
saying
good.
I'm not saying that I make people get in.
Yeah,
I give
yeah.
their advice, and some of them, I don't know if I found like-minded souls or whatever. But most of the people that I recommended to make changes and they changed it, it was beneficial for
Was
them.
for yeah, it was for the benefit. Well, that's good. That's
I
good to know.
I do know of a person who I recommended to do some changes and she refused to, and she didn't get in.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I am gonna give it another shot this year, but
Of course.
I keep it on the down low.
No, 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 no. And
I'll
then
message you privately.
oh, what we found out is all the people, so from the our cohort was huge. Our cohort was 42 people. And of the 42 that got in, I knew, so the people that got on with me, I knew that they had been participating in the chat, maybe 10, maybe.
Wow.
Everybody else was mum. They didn't
Yeah,
say anything. And,
yeah,
and people didn't publish, their Twitter, their YouTube videos publicly. They were all quiet. They were unlisted, so you never knew. Because
yeah.
I even ran up like
I
I
saw
ran up
you put everybody's video in like
everybody that I found
mashed
out
it
about.
together. Yeah. And you asked me, "You want to just send me your video?" I'm like, "No."
You know,
Good.
but then, and that's the other one. I'm really happy to help people in that thing, because I believe that if we find people that have our same brand of crazy, it really helps out to make
Brings it out.
a
Yeah,
better community.
I think so. I mean, it definitely can't hurt, you know?
Yeah,
So, no, I appreciate it, and I'll definitely keep you in mind for that
of
because,
course,
any tips and tricks that, I can get from that whole process is definitely gonna help. So, you know.
sure.
Well, thanks for sharing, Louis. I'm so
No,
glad to meet you.
anytime.
I'm so glad to have
Same
you
here.
on. It was really fun. You're like a wealth of knowledge with Autocrat, and I want you to come back on and do episode
Anytime.
2, version 2, deeper into Autocrat. Uh,
We could let me figure out something. We could either do the caught being good thing, or we could do something a little more intricate. But let me think of something that would be a good example, and that I could have data to mess around with, because
yeah,
just
yeah.
single form is not that easy.
Yeah, no, I know, believe me, I know. But we're not talking, within the
All
next
right.
week anyway, so no worries there. But
Okay.
well, that wraps up our show for tonight. Well, thank you for being on, and I know it was crazy getting you on here at 6 o'clock, and
Let's
I
blame the traffic.
appreciate.
It's not, you
It's
know,
just traffic there in Colombia, so
everywhere.
so I appreciate you taking the time to be on. What I'm going to do is let me share my screen
Sure.
and wrap up the show. So if you want to visit my website, you can go to the Sweet Talk. That's the SUITE talk.com. And you can find tonight's episode here on the homepage. You can also find the schedule here. You can fill out the guest form and be a guest on my show and pay it forward to help other educators around the world. You can join the Facebook community as well. You can actually go into the episode list page and find all of the past episodes that I've done with people and check out their YouTube video and the show notes, which is a Wakelet collection. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, join the Facebook group, keep the conversations going, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the newsletter, follow me on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, and Google Podcasts as well. And with that being said, we are going to, oops, where is my share screen button? Hold on, there we go.
Sure.
We are going to end the show on that note. Thank you, Louis, for being on again. I really appreciate it. It was
Anytime.
a pleasure meeting you. I had a lot of fun.
Same here.
All
It's
right.
all always nice to meet crazy people.
Until next time, guys. See you later.
Bye bye, people.
Bye.